Walker on the top, running through the crowd.
Welcome back to Bustelo Talk, people.
Good morning.
Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. Y'all love comedian Mcneill.
I'm Bunnie, aka Erica Ocean, aka Mrs. Incredible.
And back by popular demand.
You only had one night in that outfit.
It was a great night, though. I want to relive
psycho.
it again. Shut the fuck up. Like, I was trying to find Jack in the tree.
He was a jackass.
He went in a tree.
That's the okay.
Hater.
And
But it's Kim, the water boy, Kim. _.
Popular demand. I let him. Listen, so we about to get into a little bit
more serious.
A little bit more serious. We're gonna get into handsy, abusive relationships. That's what we get into. Abusive relationships. Now, have any of you guys ever been in an abusive relationship?
I have never been in a abusive relationship, but I've had an experience of some abuse when I was younger with my first boyfriend. He slapped me.
Yeah.
He slapped me so hard that my earring came out my nose. I had my nose pierced, and he slapped me, and my earring came out my nose. And at that moment, I didn't even know what to do because it was like,
why did he slap you? Doesn't matter why.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
Doesn't matter why, but I'm curious why.
I think it was because I was in Coney Island and I was headed to Flatbush, and he didn't want me to go to Flatbush at the time.
Okay. So
I think that's the reason. I'm not too sure because it was a long time ago, but that's the first time I ever got hit by a guy that I was dealing with, and it was kind of weird for me, and I didn't know how to respond to it.
Okay.
Because it was the first time.
So did you leave or you stayed?
No, I stayed.
Okay.
I stayed.
Did he hit you again after that?
No.
No. Was you fell in line or he just felt bad?
No. I can't even say he felt bad. Well, he kind of did because he was kind of like being extra nice after that. But no, I'm lying because then I had another abusive experience with my boyfriend in high school. I could say he was kind of more abusive. So it was Easter, and again with Coney Island, I went to Coney Island for Easter, and this boyfriend didn't want me to go to Coney Island for Easter.
Between Flatbush and Coney Island.
So
it's rough.
Yeah, I had it rough. Like my life was spread out between Flatbush and Coney Island. So it sounds stupid, but every summer I spent in Coney Island growing up. That was where I went for the summer, to Coney Island. Anyway, make a long story short, he didn't want me to go to Coney Island for Easter, and I went anyway. So he called me later on that night and was like, oh, come to my house. So I went to his house, and when I went to his house, I had an orange bandana tied on my waist because I had just got the orange Nike Air Plus sneakers that looked like Spider-Man. Those was the sneakers that was out for that year. And he tried to burn the flag off my waist, which caused us to get into a bad fist fight where we broke up vases and all types of stuff in his mother's house.
Okay.
And he was more so handsy, I should say, in a relationship.
So let me start. The reason I got into all this, because I'm noticing and I'm seeing a lot more, even though it's been out there, just a lot of things on the internet and people I know just going through, plus I got daughters, right? So going through a lot of abuse type things, like, and I'm like, yo, why do you stay, or why? So it was a popular. Well, Ashanti's sister was with. I'm not gonna say the name of the person. You can Google it. So Ashanti's sister was with somebody that everybody knows. Somebody's popular. You can check it out. And she even wrote about it. Like, she showed her face. She was fucked up. She was messed up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, she's pretty. She's pretty. And it just was like, yo, damn, right? So a lot of these dudes with money, you know, that I think a lot of y'all may stay because of his popularity and or whatever, and y'all go through the bullshit with it. It's like, yo, is it worth that? Is it worth the happiness? Is it worth the nonsense? You know what I'm saying? So that shit, you know, it kind of like crazy to me, right? I even had, so real quick, Kim, how many people you had met fucked up? Because you look like you put some answer.
No, not even funny, but I've never, I take that back. I've had one incident where I put hands on somebody.
Somebody you was dealing with?
Yeah, somebody I was dealing with. Because she was the type of person that when y'all argue, she would say hateful shit to take you to that point. But I never wanted to go to that point because that's like, you get addicted to that. Right. So I never wanted to be like that.
Right.
Like, I don't want a girl to be like, oh, you know, can you tell me about Kim? They be like, yeah, she be fucking bitches up. Right. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I caught myself, like I almost threw her through the window. Like when I caught myself, you know, I stopped dealing with her, broke up with her, and I never went back to that. Because I don't never want to be in that.
I have a confession. So my daughter's father, me and him never got into no like physical disputes. And I used to feel like when I was younger that he didn't really care for me like that because we didn't get into physical disputes.
So it was a thing where you grew up
back
a certain
then.
way, right?
Well, no, I didn't grow up that way. I guess just at that time, back in those days,
it's not normal to get hit.
It's not normal to get hit because I wouldn't dare even accept nobody touching me now. But back then when I was younger, I guess the environment around me made it seem or feel as if you didn't get into these physical disputes with the person that you're with, that they didn't care. Back then, that's how the culture was around me. And I used to say to him all the time, like, oh, you don't really care for me. We ain't never get into no physical dispute. And then now that I'm thinking about it, right as we separated, he slapped me. Now that I'm thinking about it, he slapped me.
To make you stay?
No.
To make you know he cared.
It was too late then, though. But he did slap me.
He tried to look for something.
But it was too late. So what happened was we was on the way of not dealing with each other. So it was kind of like bad situation for us. And I went out on a date with somebody, and I don't know how he got with. I don't know if it was his tuition or whatever it was. He knew I was doing something that I shouldn't be doing. And the person dropped me off home, but when I came to my house, his car was parked outside. So I slipped down in the seat, and I told the guy that I was with, keep driving, take me to my mother's house. So when I got to my mother's house, I called my house to tell my oldest daughter, like, hey, I can't. I said his name.
That's fine. I'll beep it. Keep going.
He outside, so I called my oldest daughter to let her know, like, look, he may be outside, and, you know, just so she aware of what's going on. Unbeknownst to me, he was already in the house. And he picked up the phone at the same time she picked up the phone, so he heard everything I said to her. And I called from the dude's phone and not my phone. So now he had the dude's number.
Wow.
He called the dude's phone. And I was just like, fuck. Why is this happening now when we're like
at the end,
separating? Like, you know what I'm saying? And he kept calling my phone. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just go and deal with him now, because if I keep prolonging it, it's just going to build up. So I eventually made it to his house, because if I didn't, it was either see him at my house or see him at his house. So I went to his house because the kids was at my house. And when I got to his house, he slapped me. And I didn't know if I was mad or if I
felt like
I should laugh or felt like I deserved it, because I'm like, yo, what is happening right now? Like, it was a lot of different emotions going on when it happened. So it wasn't like a shock, like, oh shit, he slapped me. It was kind of like, wow, I really got to him this time and he slapped me. So it was still kind of like a mental thing, like, okay, he do care, you know?
Right.
But now that I'm older,
like that?
no,
I
I
mean,
was younger.
A lot of y'all.
It's weird that
y'all
people really do
though.
feel like that.
I was
though.
younger, and that's how I felt when I was younger. Now I'm older, wiser, more experienced. I know now you don't have to hit somebody to show that you love them. I know that now. But back then, that's, you know, it was kind of like, wow, we never got into no fight. So I think it's more so of the emotion to see if you even touch their emotions enough for them to react. I think mentally that's what it is. Like, damn, I'm like, you're doing stuff deliberately to get a reaction, and when you don't get it, it's kind of like, damn, you don't care, because you know, certain things you expect a reaction from.
So let me state my personal opinion. Use a sucker ass nigga if you're hitting on your woman.
I mean, now I kind of feel like that, because it's like no matter what you do, you gotta put your hands on her.
Like I get shaking or grabbing or something. Like, even then, it's like, you know, it's a lot. But to physically beat on a woman, you fucking faggot, use a sucker ass nigga, because they not built. First of all, that's my personal opinion. Let me throw that out there. I don't give a fuck how you feel. You see me if you feel like seeing me. Anyway, so now I had a friend who I stopped hanging out with him because he was a physical abuser. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't know. I'm like, yo, this nigga would beat this chick in front of me damn near. And I'm like, yo, bro, me and him, you almost got into a fight that time. I stopped hanging out with him. He gonna watch this, but I stopped hanging out with him. You cool and all that. I don't know if he's still doing it, but most likely it's in the same trait. Yo, so, but I'm not.
You do it, you always do it.
Yeah, you know, I'm not.
I believe there's a few circumstances where people learn and do better that has overcome that theory of dealing with situations in relationships. I feel like it's a small amount of people who can overcome that. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody wants an abuser, always an abuser, because sometimes the roles reverse. Sometimes you'll have a woman who's an abuser.
Right.
But
yeah.
that's not talked about a lot, because it's kind of like you really letting a woman abuse you, but it's really happening. Like,
so,
I have family that's aggressive, and I said to her, we was at a domestic abuse walk for women who got abused, and I said to her, like, look, sis, you gotta ease up, because she really abused men.
Right. I mean,
she's calmed down now, but you know, she used to abuse men.
Now, with that being said, my opinion out there about that, here's the thing. I get men that hit women. Listen, I don't get men. I'm talking men that hit women. You gotta find a way, bro, to. I think y'all are emotionally unstable, and this is how you grow up. Like, even as kids, like, it's cultural too. You grow up, the little kids now, like, oh, what's up? Fuck you up. Y'all play fighting hard, and they end up fighting the girl out there with the chick and so forth and so on. Y'all gotta find a way to, like, yo, if she wanna leave, let her go, bro. Let her fucking go. There's somebody else out there for you. Clearly, you fucking up, or you doing something, or maybe it's whatever, you know. But y'all gotta find a way to deal with y'all own shit. The fact that you could sit there and physically, I'm scared I hit too hard to hit somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I got an assault charge for that, hitting an adult man and breaking his shit.
Well, you can get an assault charge for tapping someone and they call the cops. So it doesn't matter how hard it is. So that doesn't prove that you hit hard.
I shattered his shit. Anyway,
okay.
I had to play fucking fees in court.
Okay.
Anyway, he was like 6'1". Anyway. Okay. That's not it. So what I'm saying is, and I'm just trying to, like, what is it in y'all that want to sit there and, like, you know, she want to go, let her go.
But sometimes it don't be that. So for me, when I look at it in a whole, it sometimes it's not just because she want to leave that they fighting her.
It could be because their feelings is hurt.
It could be a lot of different reasons. But when I look at it in a broad spectrum, like, let's take younger children. Culturally, in the Black American culture, your mother tell you, somebody hit you, hit them back. They never decipher, if a girl hit you, don't hit her back. They tell all little kids, boy or girl, if somebody hit you, hit them back, right? So now the kid is getting a little older. Parents don't say to the older boy, if a girl hits you, don't hit him back. But they already have the the culture of if somebody hits you, hit them back. You understand?
I mean, I
so
get that.
so sometimes it could be from that, like the way they're raised, like their parents probably put in them or instilled in them. If somebody hit you, hit them back, and never, determine the difference. Well, if it's a girl, don't hit her back, but if it's a boy, hit him back. They don't do that growing up. So that could be a part of it as well. So when I look at men who hit women, or even women who hit men, I feel like it's a lot of things that factor in why they are the abuser the way they are. It could be household was raised.
To say the women that hit men thing,
it's a lot of women that hit men, though.
I feel like the man, that's deeper as far as the type of household they grew up in.
It could be,
Because
but it
like
happens though.
But
so how do you deal with that as a man? A woman who keeps blatantly putting their hands on you.
Okay, so that falls into like men and or women who are getting hit. The shit is not normal. When they show it to you the first time, you need to do something about it as far as walking the fuck away. Leaving. Period.
Yeah, sometimes it's not that easy.
Even all right, let's say you want to go a second time. Because now the nigga comfortable. It's just like you doing some shit like you shooting a deer or shooting after the first time. After you do something the first time, it get easier the second time.
Well, for me, it's kind of like, for me and my mindset, and I know a lot of people may feel like, oh, that's fucked up for me to feel like this, but I feel like some women take advantage of knowing a man is not going to hit a woman.
That's true too.
That's true.
And then I feel like in circumstances like that, sometimes the female needs to be slapped or something, because I just feel like people like that are not going to learn until they get a reaction.
Here's the thing.
Because not every man is going to be okay with you just hitting them, because you have the mindset of, oh, he's not going to hit a woman.
Here's my point of view on that.
That's why God didn't give me a son, because my son would slap a bitch down if she keep hitting him.
See, this is the problem. That's the problem.
Exactly.
This is the bad. Already you fucking up.
I'm not fucking up. I'm going to prepare my son for women who take advantage of men who don't hit women.
It's called
and
leave.
That's just me.
It's called leave.
Just call somebody.
It's called fucking leave.
Girl.
It's called leave. That's the problem.
That's like disciplining
I know
your
my
child.
value. Nah, listen, hold
but
on.
that's like disciplining your child. Calling somebody else to deal with your situation.
It's called leave.
Is not going to.
Why he's still there? Why you ain't teach the nigga to leave? That's what I'm saying. Understand your value as a person.
I mean, that's even.
I know who I am. My shit like this. I don't gotta hit you. I don't gotta act crazy. I'm damn near barely yelling at you or cursing at you. I'm telling you what I need. I'm telling you what I want. I'm giving you maybe 3 chances. After that, I'm walking off because I know what I bring to the situation. You gonna miss me. You gonna want me. I'm straight, and you know what I'm saying. I'm good. That's the thing. What you bring, what type of value you bring. Just fucking. If it's easy, if they willing to just let you go, then you're not. I feel like you don't have enough substance or value. Or you ain't do enough for them to be like, yo, oh nah, I need him in my life, or I need her in my life. So you know what I'm saying? So you just back out, bow out. You know what I mean? Get your shit established enough, or get your shit together enough to where you don't need to be around that person, and they want to be around you, or they can't live without you. That's it.
I hear that.
You equip yourself accordingly.
I hear that, but sometimes somebody hits you or strike you in your face, and you see blood. All of that you've been trained and instilled in goes out the window, because now you feel like you're being harmed.
Now
now you don't determine like, oh, this is a girl, she didn't mean it, I can't hit her, when you see a slash or something in your face.
And that's happened to me. And this is where this is gonna come in. I was drunk one time, handed up. The in particular person was like being reckless. I'm like, yo, you need to chill the fuck out, whatever. I'm trying to walk. She hauled off and rocked my shit. I'm glad my jaw is not fucking, I like glass, my nigga. I learned that from getting hit hard as shit, snuck it. I'm glad my blood, because if she would have knocked me out. But my first reaction in it, again, I'm drunk. It was a jab back, and I hit her with a quick jab. And like, she runs off, and her whole shit was crazy. Like, immediately went crazy.
So
hold on. The next day, alcohol wears off. She gets up. Her shit is fucked up. When I tell you I felt like the biggest shit on the planet, the biggest amount of shit, I was like, yo, my nigga, this, you know, I even cried. I felt so bad, so crazy. You know what I mean? And it's to the point where I was like, yo, I can't be here. I can't be with you.
Yeah.
This shouldn't happen. This should not have happened. I shouldn't have been at the point to where she's trying to convince me to stay. I say, nah, I do not want to be here. This is toxic at this point. I don't. If I get to the point where this is happening, this does not. No. This is not who I am.
But you also said you had alcohol in your system.
Yeah, but still, my nigga, still. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the way she looked, and it took like a few. I stuck around and helped her, but I'm like, I don't want. Eventually, she kind of like convinced me, quote unquote, to stay, but I was gone though. At the same time, I was 1 foot out. I was like, I can't. This shit is crazy. And then, you know, we're not together. But
you didn't completely leave. And your advice to other people just now is just learn to leave.
Right.
But you didn't completely leave yourself.
I end up completely leaving.
So eventually you did, but you didn't do it right away.
Right
so
away.
I'm pointing that out.
I left, but I stayed.
But I'm pointing that out to say it's not as easy to do. It's easy to say.
Because she begged me to stay.
It doesn't matter. It still was your choice to stay. Even though you said you left, but you stayed, you didn't just walk completely away. And that's the advice that you just gave other people. But I'm bringing that up to your attention. That, so
hopefully you won't have to go through that.
I'm bringing it to your attention to let you know, like, it's not always that easy.
Right. No, I get it. No,
circumstances,
that's why I explained the
circumstances, how long you've been with the person. Because this may not happen in the beginning of a relationship. When it happens in the beginning of a relationship, it's more easier to just walk away. But now when you factor in you have children, the age of the children, if y'all live together, like a lot of different things plays a part in you just getting up and walking away. It's not always as easy to do that. So this is a very like it's a very sensitive topic, and we're speaking about it because it's not talked about a lot. It do need to be talked about more in our communities, households, and things like that, because these are situations that can happen. Like, sometimes your emotions take over. Not everybody have the ability to control their emotions. Some do, some don't. And then sometimes you can control your emotions, but like I said, if you see blood and you see that your body is...
Right. But how many times do you see in blood, though, is the question.
Right. Now that's when the problem comes. If you keep seeing blood and you not addressing or fixing or trying to get to the root or the source of the problem, then that's when it becomes a problem. But this is...
Some shit was show, and it comes to the fact where some shit was showed prior to the kids.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right, but then that goes back into the show that we had the other day about not seeing signs because you're in love. Sometimes when you're in love, things that you should see or things that you do see, you overlook because you're in love. It goes back to that. It's the red flags. It's the jealousy. A lot of times the jealousy is what turns into the abuse, man or woman. Insecurities. And if you're feeding the insecurities, not feeding it. So it a lot of different factors plays a part in this whole relationship thing. The only thing we can do is try to make the next relationship better than the last and learn from mistakes, because there's no handbook on relationships.
I do want to say, like, yo, there's always in this community, you talk about that, yo, there's an escape route. You can get out.
Yes. There's always a way to get out. And the way to get out may be hard, but there's always a way that you can get out of the situation that you're in. So a lot of people are in situations because financially they feel like if they leave, they can't survive. Some people are in relationships because, they have kids. I'm going to stay here for my kids. It's a lot of different factors that...
To touch on that, that's the worst reason to be with somebody. I was there. That's the fucking absolute worst. It either rubs off on your kids and or you're miserable.
More toxic.
Or
somebody,
both. They see shit, regardless of you want. And now you're instilling this bullshit in your kids, and they grow up through the same shit that happened. It's just like it's the worst thing. I get you don't want the kids to be in a quote unquote broken home. I get it, but
sometimes the home can be broken with both parents there.
Right. So that.
So you gotta understand and know what broken means to you or your family situation. Because I just feel like as parents, if you both are not happy, that unhappiness is going to come out somewhere. Sometimes it's with the kids. Sometimes it's with the significant other. But it comes out somewhere. Sometimes it's at work. It comes out. When you're unhappy, it comes out. And somebody gets the shit end of the stick. And it is unfortunate, but this is how the cycles have been. So us as the generation of grandparents now and soon to be grandparents, we can kind of like change the narrative of how these things work. Like co-parenting is a good thing now. Like I know a lot of people that are not together, they're co-parenting and it works. You gotta sometimes put your emotions to the side. You have some women who are emotional about their kid's father having a girlfriend and I don't want the kids around the girl and X, Y, and Z. But at the end of the day, you have to realize if you chose this person to be your kid's father and vice versa, you should trust that they wouldn't bring someone around your children that's going to harm them. So that type of emotion,
that's another thing.
You know, I'm just saying, I'm just glad that I didn't have those experiences with like, you know, baby father drama and stuff like that. I didn't have much of that with my kids. So, you know, I'm thankful for that. But I've been around and seen a lot of that happening with people around me. And sometimes it's just pride that people don't want to let go, because women have pride too, not just men. You know, it's a lot of that. Like, but
some women have pride.
Yeah, some women have pride. Nowadays, more women have pride, and I feel like in 2020, women have become the new men, and men have become more sensitive, like women were before.
I feel like men was always. You know what it is? That's how you know men are more emotional. Men act like they're not emotional, but your emotions come out physically.
Sometimes.
Physically, that's because you know y'all fight.
And sometimes mentally.
And men fight physically. So if you're emotional, you're a very emotional creature. You can act hard as you want, but if you gotta hit somebody, a female, you're emotional. You're extremely emotional.
And then sometimes if you just take 2 minutes and think about how you spend your time, you will always see other ways that you can do better things with your time. Because I do that from time to time too. Like I just sit back and I think about, what do I do all day? And then I think, what did I do all month? What did I do all week? And I think about the things like, well, damn, I spent too much time doing this, or I didn't spend enough time doing this. So if you just take 2 seconds to just take time, think about you in a whole, your daily activities, your weekly activities, however way you do it. You got to take time to know who you are first. And I'm going to preach this forever and always. If you don't know who you are, what you're willing to deal with, what you're willing to accept, or what you can and cannot deal with, going into any relationship, you're going to accrue problems.
Gotta know who you are.
You gotta know who you are. And I feel us
work on you
in a whole don't do that enough.
Bounce,
and then we get into a relationship and feel like we can carry the next person, and then we neglect ourselves. So this is why I'm big on personal space and stuff like that.
Just to piggyback off, that's what I told my ex, right? She like, oh, such and such. Immediately I'm like, yo, nigga, you need to work on you. Stop. Don't worry. Stop. Don't worry about companionship.
Right.
You got a lot of shit with you that you need to fucking get your shit together. You need to work on. Fuck companionship. Fuck the bullshit. You need to first of all recognize your flaws, so forth and so on. And all y'all need to start working on y'all. Stop jumping person to person. And then it's like a crutch. It's a crutch to avoid who you are.
Sometimes. Yeah, it is.
And to deal with your shit. And you wonder why you keep getting this shit. Because you're not dealing with your shit. When you got your shit together or even recognize your shit, then you can go into something with somebody else and then actually grow something.
Yeah.
Because it's in clear view.
Right. And from my experience, a lot of people have childhood trauma that they have not dealt with themselves either.
That's a fact.
And now they're raising children. And that kind of spills into the way they raise their children because they haven't dealt with their own childhood trauma. And a lot of us don't believe in therapy. Therapy helps. Sometimes it's good to talk to somebody who doesn't know the parties that you're talking about. But the only way therapy works is if you're honest. If you're not honest when you're talking about things, therapy ain't gonna work either. Period. So we have to do better in a whole to make changes for the next generation. Y'all all see the generation that's behind us, and we all can agree that they are different.
Fucked up.
They're different. So in order for that to change, us as grandparents have to be better grandparents, or go back to the way grandparents used to be. However way works to make the new generation coming a little better than what's already here. That's up to us to help. If we don't, we're just going to keep creating generations of problems.
Yeah. What you got to say, Kim?
Because you ain't say anything.
Yeah, I was streaming. I was going.
Well, I got to pee.
Yeah,
So, peace out.
Yeah, I was into it. But
well, what you got to say?
I definitely see both points. But the biggest thing is that a lot of women don't like being alone.
And listen, y'all, they got to get over that shit.
Yeah,
y'all got to get over that.
Thing is,
not trying to be alone bullshit. Like, you got God. You know, you got to get your shit together. Like, you got to get a career. Get your, you know, expand your horizons or some shit. Like, you know, it is what it is. And just want to be comfortable. You got one life to live, man. And the objective is to live it as great, as happy, as peaceful as possible. One of them shits.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta start signs early. Unfortunately, too, you got a lot of people. I see a nigga shot this chick 10 times because she wanted to leave, but it's guaranteed she's seen signs early.
How about those? You ever saw your friend hit a chick and you don't know, should you intervene? Or
I intervened when I did that. I was like, yo, you need to chill the fuck out.
Alright, so now when I was younger, right, I hooked up my best friend at the time with this girl I was dating, her sister, her best friend.
Yeah.
And whatever happened, we coming home from a club.
Are you telling about you beating a girl up?
No.
Oh.
And we was young. We was going home from the train. She didn't like the girl was dancing in the club. Like, she kicked in her jaw. I was stuck. Like, I didn't know, should I intervene? Like, whoa.
Yeah.
So push comes to shove, I intervened, whatever. We had like 3 more instances like that. And to the point that after that, like, it was too late. Like, she died. Her 3rd time she died.
What?
She died on my birthday.
She from getting hit by the chick.
So they had an argument. Supposedly they had an argument.
Wow.
She ended up getting mad, walked out the car, ended up walking into traffic and got hit by a car. But they was in like a real toxic relationship. And it was weird because the 2nd time she threw on the tracks. And when we went to the hospital, when I went to the hospital to meet her, I'm like, yo, why you keep going back to her? Like, what you gonna do? Wait till the next time she gonna kill you? You gonna die, get hit by a car, playing in traffic?
Wow.
And look what happened. And that's what it was. Like, to get that phone call,
don't you ever say anything negative about me.
Facts. Like, but to get that phone call was like, it hurt.
Yeah, that's crazy. So,
but it's tough even seeing that.
Yeah, I take heed of this shit, man. Just be cautious, be happy, man, and do what's
Definitely be cautious.
best for you, and what you know is best. All right, just make the moves. God got you. So we about to get up out of here. Get you in here before you can say bye. Thank y'all for tuning in to Bustelo Talk. If you got anything to say, comment. If you know people would like this, share this with them. If you got, you know what I'm saying, family members, friends, whatever, that feel like you need to hear what we said, share it with them. Put them onto it.
Or if you have input about what we said,
yeah,
state that as well.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Good morning.